watching my videos lately, then you might have noticed that I've been transitioning away from project panning. And that's because it's just not rewarding for me anymore. It doesn't make sense for me to do it. I'm finding that it's a bit more of a chore than anything else, but also I'm neglecting a lot of things, and since I have a smaller collection, it's a lot easier to just rotate uses than try to finish things and shrink my collection. For the most part, I'm at a size that I'm really comfortable with. There are a few categories that I'd like to just continue shrinking down a little bit, but other than that, I'm pretty good. So I thought it'd be helpful to share how I feel about my makeup collection and the types of products within it in terms of categories of whether or not I want to pan it at all, whether there are a few products I want to get out before I stop panning, or if I just want to focus on natural rotation and maybe shop my stashes. I don't know if that makes sense as much because I have a smaller collection, but more just using things and not focusing on one thing so much that I neglect everything else. Fortunately, there are only a few items left that I want to use up a few items within that category until I stop panning or focus on just natural rotation afterwards. The first one of these would be face powders. Now, my favorite face powder is the Milani Prep Set and Glow, and look at the pan I have on this. I have never put this within a project, at least not this specific compact, and I already use it a ton. I love using it on the under eyes, also on the face, but I don't use it on the face that often because I'm focusing on trying to at least use up the e.l.f. HD powder. I repressed it because the lid broke off, so now it's within here. It's going a bit slow because I don't need a ton of powder. This made sense more so when my face was oilier, but ever since I went to the dermatologist and started, doing stuff, I don't need as much concealer to cover up acne. Though please ignore the acne on my face. When it's like your skin looks fine and then it's that week, and then your skin doesn't look fine. I'm not bitter or anything like that. I want to use this up, and I also have this, and I don't know if I want to pan this, but I also kind of do because it's powder, and I might as well. I bought it. But once these guys are done, I'm just gonna be using this and repurchasing it until I die, probably. But this will take a long time. Another one that is similar is contour. Now, if you have been following my Frankly My Dear I Don't Give a Pan project pan, which I think I've only updated like twice this year, then you would know I'm currently working on a Franken contour that I recently repressed in a video not too long ago, and I've actually hit big pan since that repressing. It's gone a lot faster ever since I put it in this pan, and I don't know why. I'm not complaining, but I want to finish this guy. I need to repress it probably today, and then once that's done, I will move on to this Franken, though I plan on just ending the Franken project. At least for me, it doesn't make sense to continue it if I'm just working on one product, but yeah, I'm going to work on this and the one I'm currently working on. Once those are done, I will just be enjoying my Essence Contouring Duo palette, and this is in the lightest shade they have. I really like it because this guy's a bit dark, but I can mix it or blend it out with this shade, which is basically my skin tone, and it makes a really seamless blend. Then I will just not have to worry about panning anymore. And when I say panning, I mean intentional panning. Like, I'm gonna force myself to use this more often than I would to get through it. Because in terms of this, I hit pan, but I didn't pan it because I didn't intentionally try to hit pan. It just happened. And that's kind of what I want to happen for most of my collection, just for pans and usage to be natural, but not like, let's really focus on this and then neglect a bunch of other things, because that doesn't make sense for what I want for my collection anymore. Another category like that, which I don't know if I'm gonna put in the project pan, but concealer, I have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Warm. I bought a backup recently, which is unnecessary because I don't use as much concealer as I used to. I like a really light sheer layer, usually blending it out with my finger to make it look really natural. Just, a bit of brightening and coverage, but not, you can see my skin through it kind of thing. I've been really enjoying that. I find that it just wears down better too. For filming though, I use my Milani Conceal and Perfect because it's just a little bit too thick and the texture looks a little weird. It looked better when my face was oily. Before I went to the dermatologist, it got oilier and it did look a lot nicer on the skin. Not on the under eyes, but on the skin, I liked it. Sorry for the background noise. I was gonna film this when it was quiet, but I realized I forgot to click play and I was just talking to a window. Let's get to categories that I don't find any need to pan at all. And that is eye primer, mascara, and brow gel. I'm gonna use those most days. Panning doesn't really make any sense for those. So yeah. And everything else, I want to just naturally rotate. Once I'm finished with 2 eyeshadows, then I just want to naturally rotate them. I just want to get some love to my eyeshadows because some of them I'm not even sure if I've used at all. Maybe once. And I might do a project pan where I try to use every eyeshadow in my collection once. Or maybe I'll just make my own color stories and use things up that way and like mark on the back if I've used, like put it eyeshadow in a color story yet and use all the shadows in that. Maybe I'll do it that way. That could be fun. But things like lipstick, tinted lip balms, which I don't have any currently, but I might eventually. Eyeliner, lip liner, lip gloss, highlighters, which I just use as eyeshadows because I don't like them as highlighter. All of those I just want to use naturally and see what I reach for. Same with blushes because I know currently I am Panda one and it might have actually expanded since I last showed you guys, but while I do want to get some use out of this because this is the oldest blush in my collection, same with the one I was panning earlier this year. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Plum Rose. This is the Milani Romantic Rose blush. Really, really old. Bought them when I had different preferences or didn't know my preferences, but I do like them. However, focusing on the oldest ones made me really neglect the ones I bought last year especially. I don't think I've used this one more than 5 times. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Cheeky. Practically brand new. And I've had it for like probably a year now. Same with this Milani Rosa Romantica Baked Blush. I've actually used it a few more times than the e.l.f. one. I've reached for it a bit. However, not that much, clearly. And I'd like to get use out of these. And I cannot remember the last time I've used either of these 2 blushes. I've used these 2 a ton lately to mix in with the Milani blush because it adds a bit of glow and it makes it either pinker or warmer. And I like kind of customization, but the 2 actual blushes in here, I don't know, last time I used them. So I'm just going to change my goal in my blush for the project pan to 30 uses instead of 50 because while I do enjoy getting use out of this, the other ones have not been touched. Let me know if you're interested in that concept of making color stories with eyeshadows and using all the ones within that palette I made and then trying to use all the eyeshadows within my collection. That might be a fun thing to do over the next year or 2. That's kind of how I'm feeling about my collection. Most of it is to the point where I'm like, this is a good number. I don't need anything more. There's a tiny bit of eyeshadows on my wish list. I think there's like 4. And then there's 2 lip products on my wish list. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you have an amazing day.